Since tomorrow is appearance or disappearance? Oh, first, Sharmadi has an announcement. Were you waiting for Nita? Is Nita in the kitchen? Can you ask him to, I texted him, can I ask him to come for a minute? Oh, there he is.
Have a short announcement, and then Vasanti's going to be reading about Raghunath Das Goswami and Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, and then we'll be hearing about Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. But in the meantime, I just wanted to make an announcement. I want to ask Giragraja Prabhu, what happened yesterday? When did those two devotees come to help?
Yeah, Aditya and Dr. Ram.
Yeah, so what happened was Giragraju was painting with Nanda Prabhu, right? And then he realized that he needed help and it was an emergency. So he messaged Vasanti, and Vasanti put a big message on the group chat, right? What chat?
Yeah, the community chat.
The larger community chat, that we need help with painting. And we didn't know that if there was a painter out there. And then Aditya, that young Bengali man, he said, I love painting and I'll be over. And then Dr. Om, he also said, I'm coming over too. And then Vasanti said, well, could you bring them lunch? Because I was going to go, but I'm not. So everything expanded and we had more help. So the thing is, somehow or other, by the will of the Lord, we're not increasing in our number of residents. People do come and go, a week or two, a month, and so on. But we're not increasing our numbers. So therefore, whenever something needs to be done, well, who of our tiny crew can do that? And who of our tiny crew can do that? And then everybody gets overloaded. So I was thinking about having a new, I don't know what you call it, a standard, a policy, an activity that, you know how we go around and we ask people for their email addresses for our database. So that's a standard thing. And we also have chats with people. Everyone here is completely friendly. Everyone makes sure that no one's left alone who comes as a visitor. And that's a wonderful thing. So I would like to suggest, and tell me what you think, to add one more policy. And you also call people that you meet, right? Everybody does that, I think. Almost everybody. Do you? Could you?
Infrequently.
Could you do it more frequently?
Sure.
Because you have such a happy life. Of course, sometimes it gets too hot. But generally, you have a very happy life. You have a goal in your life that all those people don't. They're all suicidal out there. So I would like to suggest,
Get people to come.
and that's why I know you have a lot of rounds to do, but I just wanted to call you back for 5 minutes.
I'll see you in the eternal off live stream.
No, I would love to watch this on the live stream.
Yeah, me too. And then the people, and then they'll want to help more, because they'll know that we're very short-handed, even though, like Prabhupada wrote the Boston devotees a letter in like 1967 or 8. He said, even though you are only 3, you can act for 300, because the main thing is the consciousness. So I know you all have wonderful consciousness and you're acting for more than you are. At the same time, what do you think about having a new policy for everybody in this temple, that whenever you speak to people, and what do you do? And do you have any talents and skills? And then, gee, we really need that. So, and then you get their name, and it goes on a thing. I don't know how to do it. I'm not technically skilled, but I know all companies have, all volunteer organizations have that. And then we know who we can go to. What do you think about that? Or you individually? Oh, I remember I talked to that person, there is such and such. Let me give them a call. Or we're doing food for the poor under the bridge. So let me call that person. They said they like to do charity work. So what do you think of that?
Maybe in the spreadsheet with all of the email addresses and such, we can have it listed too. If
What
that would
do
be a shared spreadsheet?
Maybe.
I don't know.
We don't have a spreadsheet
It's
though.
not really a
Oh, there's not a
spreadsheet.
spreadsheet?
It's the Ledkin. It's an app.
Yeah, and we're changing. I don't know if the new one has things like that. I kind of don't have so much faith because I don't think most people are going out and collecting emails. I don't think that consciousness has been built. So it'd be nice, like, if the consciousness is built, collect the emails. And in my experience, we don't have any, like, we don't even have any, like, we're not actually going out to people and, like, going through and checking, like, oh, who can do this, who can do that. Like, that would be nice to get to, but
That's what I'm saying, we don't have it.
but like, we don't have the consciousness in ourselves even to be like, oh, who can do this and who can, instead, like, it kind of works of like, we know who can do, and then we message them. So if people instead, no, I mean, like, the consciousness of maintaining the spreadsheet to do it. We don't, like, everybody here's gonna say they'll do it, but then it's like, it just demonstrates.
He has a lot of experience.
I'm expressing like the frustration that's been years of like, you know, oh yes, oh
I
yes.
think, yeah.
So I'm not disagreeing, I'm saying like,
Yeah.
let's do it, but I think like the consciousness that I've seen work is you just like remember and you call them, you know, you call the people and like be friendly with them, and when you have stuff, you just say, hey, we need help with this, who can help?
And I think
Well-
Some people aren't as good as what they say they can do.
Hmm?
Some people aren't good at what they say they can do.
That's true.
I think also,
The mic maybe?
I think also, at least for myself, or I guess for all of us, to be more proactive, because we knew that MDC was getting taken down, and we knew that Kartik was starting, and so I take responsibility. I didn't plan for the takedown. That I knew, like, oh, we have to do that, and we have to do this, and I talked to Gaj, I'm like, are you gonna do both? How can he do MDC and this temple? So yesterday I realized, oh, I should have done this email a week ago that I put on the community chat that should rally, like, even if it's Hoksija and Chandra and Ever, and we have people. They come enjoy every Friday night. I mean, your club is reaping the benefits of you going there every single week and bringing them delicious food. Like, they want to give back
Yeah,
for free.
they get the mercy they wanted.
So I think if we're just more proactive in, hey, we have this coming up and we really need to get ready for it.
Asher, you want a sweet moment from this week? Just because we're on live stream and I know they can all hear what's happening. They watch. Which, sorry, about. Well, I want to add to that because, like, the reason why it's successful is from messaging them every week.
I was asking for reflection on why you were successful.
Oh, what was the reflection and then?
Being proactive?
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, yeah, no, I'm adding to that. Like, the reason why it's like been successful is because of the proactivity, of like the names just living in the spreadsheet and reaching out to them once a year when we need something. You know, it's like, okay, you know. But if it's like constant, hey, how are you? Not that like, and so, for anybody on live stream that's listening to this, I don't reach out just like, good, I'm just so that if I ever need anything, like I just have like the people in my head who I'm like, oh, hey, how are you? Hey, how are they doing? And then I just message them. And then when going to the college, it's been for years of just messaging the days before, and that keeps it in mind keeps it alive, like in their head, and then makes it a reason to come. What was really sweet this week that I got to see how much they've progressed in their joy for this is that three people like at Hoxaja, Merdungi, and Chandra came like late, but they were just like, we just want to do kirtan, and we sat and we had a really nice, like, they just wanted to do kirtan. You know, it's so rare that people are like, yeah, let's just have a kirtan here in this classroom. So it's nice to see the progress in that way. But to your point, yeah, that's like the progressive, just like the proactivity of reaching out. Hi, how are you? Hey, this is what we're doing. I share with every single person whatever is going on in my life. I don't do the like, hey, how are you? Oh, I'm good. Or fine, thanks. How are you? Oh, okay, good, bye. Like if somebody asks me how I am, I almost immediately tell them about the VR project. And I even will tell them how I'm trying to find money for it, because you've trained me to like just tell everybody whatever is going on, and then people who have things for it just suddenly are there. Even somebody on the Team DD chat who I hadn't heard from in like a year or two, but who was really active with GVO in the temple in the earliest days of SVA, just randomly posted in the chat, hey, have anybody ever thought of putting Didi's work into VR? And I was like, whoa. And it happens to be, she worked on a business plan. But I replied and was like, you know what, she said she couldn't help do a business plan for this, but I was like, you know what, if I need help with something, she's like, do you need help with anything? I said, I need money for this. She said, you know what, actually I have somebody in mind, can you send me materials? So it's like, even if it's, like no matter what, the conversation isn't just like, hey, I'm good. Oh, okay, cool. But it's like, it's always just like real of like, hey, what's going on? Cool, hey, this is what's actually going on. And it spreads the word too about every project, about everything.
Like Manjri always finds, in her own world, Manjri always finds people who has talents who can help her with various projects. So we want to follow in those footsteps. So what do you all think? Can we get a spreadsheet together? Can we do it? Is he right forever?
Yeah, since I'm here, I also collected a few contacts and stuff, but I noticed I did get a bit. Actually, before coming in here, I was thinking, oh no, I actually didn't text that person. Yeah, like I forget about it. So now I'm just thinking maybe I could have like a fixed, like let's say every Sunday evening, because then there's a bit of free time. That I put it in my mind, and maybe because sometimes I forget it, one number is there, another number is there, I could just put it all in one little book or something like that. And yeah, I also made the experience like when we have programs, we used to always call the people, and that's how we get 300 people. Otherwise, they don't come because there's so much other beautiful things in London to do. Then, they get carried away, and you really need to be persistent and call and, yeah, like you say, make a relationship with the people. And another thing, what you were saying about the community, I also noticed that they are really, I was surprised myself because I was talking to Karuna Didi. I'm like, hey, don't you want to come out with me on Saturday? She's like, okay. I mean, I'm a bit scared, but okay. And I was really happy because the girls are so busy, and if I want to go to Little Havana, it's difficult.
You mean Karuna, who has the daughter?
Karuna Shakti, the one.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and then I talked to this girl, which is always quiet, Radha. And I just thought, let's just try her. And she was she's like, okay, yeah, I just have to see my schedule. And she speaks Spanish, which is great. So, yeah, I think your community is really open to help. And I can also relate to it because, like, it's not easy to surrender your whole life to live in the temple, but everybody is happy to, or grateful even, to be a helpful part. And yeah, your community seems to be really open for that.
Good. Yeah, she's from the Gangamatas, who get 300 people a week to come because they're.
No, that was just when you were there. Then
I forgot.
As far as the practicality, I can make a spreadsheet, I can start it. I'm leaving for India on Monday, so I will not maintain it for a month. But when I come back, that can be a thing. I don't care as much about emails, but I can at least do phone numbers and like, this is this person's talents type of thing. Cause,
Talent.
or what they're into, you know, if you know anything about them, and then it can be shared. I can do that at the very least.
Okay. When would you like to do that? Well, you're going.
Sure. Doesn't everyone have to be in touch with the own people that they like connected with?
Yeah, that's ideal. But having a large database is helpful too.
Having a what?
He already has a large database.
But it can be shared and everyone can have their name by who's their contacts.
So do you want it to get together and figure that?
Yeah, if you already, I don't know. It's just an idea.
Two of you? Okay.
Sure.
Manjari.
Well, these are old-fashioned ideas, but there's a bulletin board and a regular old-fashioned guest sign up with email, name, and
Again?
interest. So old-fashioned approach with a really cool community bulletin board, fun photos of you guys in action, and a volunteer sign-up sheets and what's available, and just a little bit of more proactivity visually here in the center. And then do you have a guest sign-up book by the door there? So
We did, but everyone was just, my name is this, good work. And it didn't do anything. Wasn't
so if
really
email
involved.
is there, and then the book is there, but then also the devotees, as you're saying,
And
are
then
more
Haridas-
proactive and
Haridas
getting
mi-
people to sign in.
Haridas might want to say, I'm sorry, his head is on the floor.
Oh, and then one last thing, which
Oh,
is
wait,
that,
let's go back to that thing.
yeah.
He said they didn't write legibly.
Just to finish, the other thing is that on the website, and I can email Anupam if he's the one doing it, but you have a volunteer, you also have the digital bulletin board on the website of like volunteer opportunities, service openings, like we need the script writer, we need
Yeah, that's it.
whatever, people on Saturday night for Harinam or whatever. So all that online and physically in the center, I think is good. Haribo.
So you're in touch with Raghava? Or you can just post it to him to post. Just we make it and then he posts it.
Yeah. As for the, you know, I'll do one thing at a time. The reason why I put my
I
head
like
down
that.
on the floor, I'm just respectfully. I hope I mean this like in a joking, familiar way, not in like it's 2025. It's got to be all digital. When we do anything in live person, we've been trying this for years. We will set up like a calendar, like a board, like a save a wheel. It'll get written, it'll get used for 2 weeks straight. Then it'll be left there. It won't be updated.
Well, that's
It'll be
local.
somebody's seva.
She's asking for, as a reach out.
Sure.
Way to celebrate you all too.
I know.
Pictures and it's advertising for people that visit. Sure.
Like at GVO, we had that calendar, really messy, and art, and people actually stopped and looked at it, and it was really cool.
It's very engaging to see.
You don't have
If as long as somebody will keep up with it, like there's
That's
the
the
one on
thing.
like there's the one on the fridge. There is. It's like the one on the fridge that was written and that was great, but it would be get written once and then left there and never updated. This is just what it is at the temple. I'm not trying to. I think it's great ideas and fantastic. We've just been having these conversations for 4 years straight, and this is just what keeps happening. And that's why, to me, it's to me, like the in between is that we can do it digitally. I think this is something for us to add to the SVA magazine that just got published this morning for the first time. Haribo! So much thanks to Sumuki Didi. So much work went into it. I think like our next thing will be to like, I wanted just to add like community board, exactly what you're talking about to that, because that's like a really easy way for us to reach a lot of people. The thing with the sign-up book is, yeah, we could put email addresses. The challenge we had was if people didn't write legibly and then nobody wanted to actually enter it. Nobody. Not a single person who lived in the ashram, even Guru Devi's people around the world. I said, I will help you. They would start looking through the list and then say, I don't want to do it. They would start and then just stop. I was even get on the phone with them to go through like, oh, I'm seeing it. This is what they're writing here. This is what they're writing there. It's just constant.
I just have one practical thing that I think would be helpful to piggyback off of what Mundry was saying. One very simple thing that could be done every Friday night and every Sunday when Vasanti makes her announcements, she could make announcements of any volunteer opportunities that are coming up for the week. And that's when most people are here, and that can spread the word of what needs to be done.
And just to your point, is just find first the person who's naturally talented at doing these things. So maybe it's not your forte, but when you have the person who's for most of the year or half of the year here and into it and can do it, then engage them. So yeah, identify that person and then everything will follow. But I'm willing to send an email to Anupam. I think he could do the volunteer page on the website and announcements you can do.
Yeah, for sure. And I will take up with my assistant, the community board. We will do, 2 of us.
Who's your assistant?
Smokey. Yeah, starting with printing the, what's it called? Flyers that are already made. Okay, so tomorrow is 3 very important personalities' disappearance days: Srila Krishnas Kaviraj Goswami, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, and Raghunath Bhatta Goswami. So since we can't celebrate all 3 of them tomorrow, we will start today by reading about Srila Raghunath Bhatta Goswami from Bhakti Ballabh Tirtha Goswami Maharaj's book, Sri Chaitanya Associates. Okay. In Krishna Lila, Raghunath Bhatta, who made his home in a cottage by Radhakund, was Ragamandri. Serving the Lord in Benares. In around 1503 AD, Raghunath Bhattacharya appeared in this world as the son of Tapan Mishra, a dear devotee of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who hailed from the village of Rampur on the banks of the Padma River in East Bengal. Mahaprabhu first met Tapan Mishra when he went to East Bengal during his career as a teacher of Sanskrit. Tapan Mishra had studied many scriptures but was still bewildered about the purpose of life and how to attain it. Then, one day, he had a dream in which he was instructed by a Brahmin to go to Nimai Pandit, who would clarify these matters for him. When Tapan Mishra went to the Lord and told him his dream, Nimai answered that Harinam Sankirtan was both the purpose of life and the means for attaining it. Wow. Tapan Mishra expressed his desire to come and live in Navadvip near the Lord, but Mahaprabhu told him to go to Benares instead, assuring him that he would see him there one day. Thus, several years later, when passing through Benares, on his way back from Vrindavan, Mahaprabhu stayed at Chandrasekhar Vaidya's house and took his meals with Tapan Mishra. The Lord had 3 devotees in Benares. One was Chandrasekhar Vaidya, another Tapan Mishra. The third was Tapan Mishra's son, Raghunath Bhattacharya. The Lord met with them when he stopped in Kashi after visiting Vrindavan. Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami lived at home for about 28 years. During the 2 months that the Lord spent in Benares, Raghunath had many opportunities to personally serve him and receive his mercy. Mahaprabhu stayed in the house of Chandrasekhar for 2 months' time, daily taking his meals at Tapan Mishra's residence. Raghunath was just a boy at the time, but he served the Lord by cleaning his place after he ate and by massaging his feet. When he grew up, he went to Puri to see the Lord. He stayed there for 8 months, occasionally cooking for the Lord. Raghunath comes to Puri. Out of eagerness to see the Lord, Raghunath Bhatta hurried to Puri after visiting Bengal. He was accompanied by a servant who carried his baggage for him. While traveling, he met a certain Ramdas Vishwas, a devotee of Lord Ram, initiated in the Ramanandi disciplic succession, and very learned in Sanskrit, poetic, and other scriptures. He was a well-to-do member of the Kayasha caste, who was trusted by the Shah and had been given an important position in the government treasury. Ram Das was traveling to Puri as he wanted to renounce his material entanglements and visit Jagannath Dev. He was constantly chanting the Ram mantra. Knowing Raghunath to be a Brahmin, he took many pains to render service to him, sometimes massaging his feet and sometimes carrying his baggage on his head. Raghunath was somewhat embarrassed that such a rich and important man should render him such menial service. But Ram Das tried to allay his doubts by saying, "I am a lowly Sudra, and you are a Brahmin. It is my duty to serve you. I feel the greatest joy in taking this opportunity to serve you." When Raghunath arrived in Puri, he prostrated himself on the ground before the feet of the Lord. The Lord recognized Raghunath and lifted him up with great emotion and embraced him. He asked for news of Tapan Mishra and Chandrasekhar Vaidya, then sent him to see Jagannath, telling him to come and eat with him afterwards. Mahaprabhu had Govinda make housing arrangements for Raghunath and introduced him to Swarup Damodar and his other associates. During the 8 months that Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami remained in Nilachal, he sometimes had the chance to invite Mahaprabhu for meals. He would take the opportunity to prepare delicious vegetable platters for the Lord's pleasure. He was an expert cook, and the Lord was especially satisfied by the devotional mood in which he prepared these meals. Raghunath was then fortunate enough to be able to take the Lord's remnants. Ram Das Vishwas also came to meet Mahaprabhu during this time, but the Lord could see through him. He saw that Ram Das harbored desires for liberation and that he was proud of his learning, and so he did not show him as much mercy as he did to Raghunath. After Raghunath had been in Puri for 8 months, the Lord told him to go back to Kashi to serve his Vaishnav parents, who are now aged and infirm. He also told him not to get married. The Lord then made him a gift of his own neck beads, which he placed around Raghunath's neck, telling him to come to Puri again. Raghunath goes to Vrindavan. Raghunath took care of his parents for the remainder of their lives, which was another 4 years. During this time, he also studied the Bhagavat from a Vaishnav. Raghunath had a beautiful singing voice. When he recited the Bhagavatam, he would read the same verse aloud over and over again, chanting each time in a different tune. This made his readings very attractive to the devotees. When his parents died, he returned to Puri and stayed with Mahaprabhu. After remaining with the Lord for 8 months, Mahaprabhu told him to go to Vrindavan and to stay with Rupa and Sanatan. He told him to continue studying and giving discourses on the Bhagavat, as well as to chant the holy names. The Lord then gave him a 10-foot-long tulsi garland that had been worn by Lord Jagannath, as well as some pan that had none of the intoxicating spices in it. Raghunath was intoxicated with love upon receiving all this kindness from the Lord. Krishnadas describes Raghunath's voyage to Vrindavan and his life there in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Recite the Srimad Bhagavatam and chant the names of Krishna continuously. The Supreme Lord Krishna will very soon bestow his mercy upon you. After saying this, the Lord embraced Raghunath, who became enlivened with ecstatic love for Krishna by his mercy. At a feast, the Lord had been given some unspiced betel and a 10-foot-long garland of tulsi leaves, which had been worn by Lord Jagannath. He gave the garland and betel to Raghunath Bhatta, who accepted them as his worshipable deities, taking care to preserve them. Then Raghunath took the Lord's permission and departed for Vrindavan. When he arrived in the Dham, he put himself under the care of Rupa and Sanatan Goswamis. Whenever he recited the Bhagavatam before Rupa and Sanatan, Raghunath Bhatta would be overwhelmed with ecstatic love for Krishna. By Mahaprabhu's mercy, he experienced the symptoms of ecstatic love, tears, trembling, and faltering of the voice. His eyes filled with tears, and his throat became so choked that he would have to stop his recital. Raghunath's voice was as sweet as the cuckoo's, and he would recite each verse of the Bhagavad in 3 or 4 different tunes. Whenever he recited or heard about Krishna's beauty and sweetness, he would be overwhelmed with ecstatic love and become oblivious to the world around him. Raghunath Bhatta surrendered himself to Govinda's lotus feet, and those lotus feet were the only thing that gave his life meaning. In time, Raghunath Bhatta ordered his disciples to construct a temple for Govinda. He himself made various ornaments for the deity, including a flute and dolphin-shaped earrings. Raghunath Bhatta would never speak or listen to gossip. He would simply discuss about Krishna and worship him day and night. He wouldn't listen to criticism of a Vaishnava's misbehavior. He knew only that everyone was engaged in Krishna's service. When Raghunath Bhatta Goswami was absorbed in remembrance of Lord Krishna, he would take the prasadi tulsi garland and neck beads given him by the Lord and wear them around his neck. Thus I have described the power of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy, by which Raghunath Bhatta Goswami experienced unlimited ecstatic love for Krishna. That was from the Chaitanya Charitamrita. A further description of Raghunath Bhatta Goswami is also given in Bhakti Ratnakar. As I look upon the Samadhi tomb of Raghunath Bhatta, my heart breaks and my eyes are awash with tears. But who is not overjoyed as soon as he hears Raghunath Bhatta Goswami's glories? He was such an expert teacher of all the scriptures that even Brihaspati would cheer joyfully upon hearing Raghunath's explanations of Vaishnava doctrine. There is nothing to which his discourses on the Bhagavad can be compared. Even Vyas himself wishes to sit and listen to him speak, knowing that this will bring him happiness. Even the gods were astonished when they observed Raghunath Bhatta's devotional practices. When Srinivasacharya and the devotees heard Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami glorified in this way, they fell to the ground and offered their respects. Then they continued on to the Govindaji temple. Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami disappeared in either 1579 or 1580 AD. Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami ki.
Okay, here's the test.
Yeah.
Everybody
Second. No. That Ramdas, he was not given as much mercy because he still had desires for liberation.
His father's Tapan Mishra.
After he received the mercy of Mahaprabhu, whenever he heard about the beauty and qualities of Krishna, he would go into such ecstatic states that he was hardly in this world. He got the opportunity to cook prasadam for Mahaprabhu, and Mahaprabhu particularly relished his devotional mood and gave him his remnants.
He was a great teacher.
He received from Lord Chaitanya a 10-foot long tulsi garland and betel nut that had all the intoxicant parts removed, and after he took them, well, he didn't actually necessarily take them because he worshipped them as his worshipful deity, but he became intoxicated not by the pan, but by his love of God. He went to Vrindavan, and he took shelter of Rupa and Sanatan Goswamis, and whenever he'd read verses from Srimad Bhagavatam to them, he'd become overwhelmed in sentiments of love for Krishna. What? Many tunes. Multiple. Or 4.
It's hard going last. Mahaprabhu spent time with his family and Benares. And then later they met again, and Mahaprabhu remembered him and embraced him. And at that time, he gave him ecstatic symptoms and love for Krishna.
Oh, I remember. There was 3 devotees in Benares: Tapan Mishra, Chandrasekhar Vaidya, and Raghunath Bhatta. And then Raghunath Bhatta wanted to be with him, but he said, go back, go and take care of your parents. So he did for 4 more years until they left the world. Then he got to go to Vrindavan, and he paid for the Govindaji temple. Isn't that what it said? And he built himself a cottage on the bank of Radhakund. And yeah. What else happened? Oh, when he speaks, as Hara said, when he sings Bhagavatam so beautifully, even Vyasadeva comes to hear. And Sukadeva Goswami, Brihaspati. He's the engineer, isn't he the architect of the priest of the demigods? And yeah.
Didn't Prasvati have his mustache removed by Shiva during the fight with Daksha? In Hollywood?
Like every Friday, Manjari reads with her friends, and they each take turns reading the verses. Huh? Oh, sorry, every day. So what I'd like to know is, would you all like to meet in the evening? We don't have regular class. Hmm? What? Oh, for Kartik, yeah, you're right. How about after Kartik? Because we read a lot of books, but not Chaitanya Charitamrita, unless it's somebody's a special day. All right, anybody else say yes? To reading every night that we're not out on Harinam, reading Chaitanya Charitamrita together. It's very exciting. Like, I don't know if you know, but Raga, whenever she's doing her Tulsi Seva, she's simultaneously listening to Chaitanya Bhagavat. And it's very easy to listen to because it's basically stories. Real stories, but stories rather than heavy philosophy. So I just wanted to suggest that when anybody's doing anything, cooking, painting, cleaning, to listen to Chaitanya Bhagavat or Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's very nourishing, right? Okay. You have it? Did you find it? What verse? Look up Menaketana Ramdas. Look up Menaketana flute. And Haridas Prabhu, can you sit in such a way that, good, sit in such a way that the camera can go on you? Do you have a good shot?
Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuramiltam Yena Tasmayish Gurave Namaha. I offer my obeisances to my Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedanta Van Gosamaraj, to my Shiksha Guru Pujaniya Shrimati Shamrani Didi, and to the Chaitanya Charitamrita, where I'll be reading from Adi Lila, chapter 5, verse number 161, about Menaketana Ramdas. So Lord Nityananda Prabhu had a servant named Menaketana Ramdas, who was a reservoir of love. At my house, I believe this means this would be Krishnadas Kaviraj. It must be, because this is the story of how Krishnadas Kaviraj came to go and write Chaitanya Charitamrita. So at the house of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, there was a Sankirtan day and night. And therefore, Menaketana Ramdas visited there, having been invited. Absorbed in emotional love, Menaketana Ramdas, the servant of Lord Nityananda Prabhu, and sat in his courtyard, and all the Vaishnavas bowed down at his feet. In a joyful mood of love of God, he sometimes climbed upon the shoulder of someone offering obeisances, and sometimes he struck others with his flute, or mildly slapped them, which we see sometimes our Vaishnavas doing that too. When someone saw the eyes of Menaketana Ramdas, tears would automatically flow from his own eyes, for a constant shower of tears flowed from the eyes of Menaketana Ramdas. Wow. Sometimes there were eruptions of ecstasy, like kadamba flowers, on some parts of his body, and sometimes one limb would be stunned while another would be trembling. Whenever he shouted aloud the name, Nityananda, the people around him were filled with great wonder and astonishment. One respectable Brahmana named Sri Gunarnava Mishra Gunavara Mishra was serving the deity. When Menaketana was seated in the courtyard, this Brahmana did not offer him respect. Seeing this, Sri Ramdas spoke and became angry and spoke. He said, "Here I find the second Romaharshana Sutta, who was famous for when he was speaking to the sages at Naimisharanya, the place where eventually Srimad Bhagavatam was spoke, and Lord Balaram himself, Nityananda's previous incarnation, or incarnation during the Krishna Lila, appeared, and Romaharshana Sutta did not stand up and offer respect to Baladev, although Baladev is the guru of the whole world. And he continued speaking, and so then Baladev took a piece of grass, cut off his head. So now Menaketana Ramdas, who's the servant of Nityananda Prabhu, who is Baladev in Lord Chaitanya's pastime, is saying that here he's finding the second Romaharshana Sutta, who did not stand to show honor when he saw Lord Balaram. After saying this, Menaketana Ramdas danced and sang to his heart's content, but the Brahmana did not become angry, for he was then serving Lord Krishna. At the end of the festival, Menaketana Ramdas went away, offering his blessings to everyone. At that time, he had some controversy with Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami's brother. His brother had firm faith in Lord Chaitanya, but only a dim glimmer of faith in Lord Nityananda. Knowing this, Sri Ramdas felt unhappy in his mind. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami then rebuked his brother. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami continues, "These two brothers," I told him, "are like one body. They are identical manifestations. If you do not believe in Lord Nityananda, you will fall down. If you have faith in one but disrespect the other, your logic is like the logic of half a hen." Does anybody know the logic of half a hen? Do you want to share? Do you want to share?
Well, if I have a hen, the best thing from the hen is getting the eggs. But the bad part is that I always have to spend so much money trying to feed the hen. So I might as well cut the hen in half. That way I don't have to feed him and I just get eggs. But it defeats the purpose because hen is dead. So similarly, trying to worship Chaitanya Mahaprabhu without acknowledging Nityananda Prabhu is like half a hen philosophy.
Thanks. So Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami continues, "It would be better to be an atheist by slighting both brothers than be a hypocrite by believing in one and slighting the other." Thus, Sri Ramdas broke his flute in anger and went away. And at that time, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami's brother fell down. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says he has thus described the power of the servants of Lord Nityananda. Now, he shall describe another characteristic of his mercy. Should I continue? That night, Lord Nityananda appeared to Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami in a dream because of his good quality and chastising his brother. In the village of Jatmapura, which is near Naihati, Lord Nityananda appeared to Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami in a dream. Srila Krishnadas Goswami fell at the Lord's feet, offering his obeisances, and then the Lord placed his own 2 lotus feet upon his head, which reminds me of Srila Raghunath Das Goswami receiving the Lord's mercy. "Arise, get up," he told me again and again. Upon rising, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami was greatly astonished to see Lord Nityananda's beauty. He had a glossy, blackish complexion, and his tall, strong, heroic stature made him seem like Cupid himself. He had beautiful formed hands, arms, and legs, and eyes like lotus flowers. He wore a silk cloth with a silk turban on his head. He wore golden earrings on his ears and golden armlets and bangles. He wore tinkling anklets on his feet and a garland of flowers around his neck. His body was anointed with sandalwood pulp, and he was nicely decorated with tilak. His movements surpassed that of a maddened elephant. His face was more beautiful than millions upon millions of moons, and his teeth were like pomegranate seeds because of his chewing betel. His body moved to and fro, right and left, for he was absorbed in ecstasy. He chanted, "Krishna, Krishna," in a deep voice. His red stick moving in his hand, he seemed like a maddened lion. All around the 4 sides of his feet were bumblebees. His devotees, dressed like cowherd boys, surrounded his feet like so many bees and also chanted, "Krishna, Krishna," absorbed in ecstatic love. Some of them played horns and flutes, and others danced and sang. Some of them offered betel nuts, and others waved chamara fans about him. Thus, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami saw such opulence in Lord Nityananda's Swarup. His wonderful form, qualities, and pastimes are all transcendental. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami was overwhelmed with transcendental ecstasy, not knowing anything else. Then Lord Nityananda smiled and spoke as follows. O my dear Krishnadas, do not be afraid. Go to Vrindavan, for there you will attain all things. After saying this, the Lord directed Srila Krishnadas Goswami towards Vrindavan by waving his hand. Then he disappeared with his associates. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami fainted and fell to the ground. His dream broke, and when he regained consciousness, he saw that morning had come. He thought about what he had seen and heard and concluded that the Lord had ordered him to proceed to Vrindavan at once. That very second, he started for Vrindavan, and by the Lord's mercy, he reached there in great happiness. All glory to Lord Nityananda Balaram, by whose mercy Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has attained shelter in the transcendental abode of Vrindavan. All glory to the merciful Lord Nityananda, by whose mercy Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has attained the shelter at the lotus feet of Sri Rupa and Sri Sanatan. By the Lord's mercy, he has attained the shelter of the great personality Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, and by that same Lord's great mercy, he found refuge in Sri Swarup Damodar Goswami. By the mercy of Sanatan Goswami, he learned the final conclusions of devotional service, and by the grace of Sri Rupa Goswami, he tasted the highest nectar of devotional service. All glory to the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda, by whose mercy he attained Sri Sri Radha Govinda. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, he is more sinful than Jagai and Madai, and even lower than the worms in stool. In fact, anybody who hears his name loses the results of his pious activities. Anybody who just utters Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami's names becomes I am more sinful than Jagai and Madai, and even lower than the worms in stool. Anyone who hears my name loses the results of his pious activities. Anyone who utters my name becomes sinful. Who in this world but Nityananda could show his mercy to such an abominable person as me? Because he is intoxicated by ecstatic love and is an incarnation of mercy, he does not distinguish between the good and the bad. He delivers all those who fall down before him. Therefore, he has delivered such a sinful and fallen person as me. Although I am sinful and I am the most fallen, he has conferred upon me the lotus seat of Srila Rupa Goswami. I am not fit to speak all these confidential words about my visiting with Lord Madan Gopal and Lord Govinda. Lord Madan Gopal, the chief deity of Vrindavan, is the enjoyer of the Ras dance and is directly the son of the king of Braj. He enjoys the Ras dance with Srimati Radharani, Sri Lalita, and others. He manifests himself as the Cupid of Cupids. Wearing yellow garments and decorated with a flower garland, Lord Krishna, appearing among the gopis with his smiling lotus face, looked directly like the charmer of the hearts of Cupid. When Radha and Lalita serving him on his two sides, he attracts the hearts of all by his own sweetness. The mercy of Lord Nityananda showed me Sri Madan Mohan and gave me Sri Madan Mohan as my Lord and Master. He granted to one as low as me the sight of Lord Govinda. Words cannot describe this, nor is it fit to be disclosed. On an altar made of gems in the principal temple of Vrindavan, amidst a forest of desire trees, Lord Govinda, the son of the king of Braj, sits upon a throne of gems and manifests his full glory and sweetness, thus enchanting the entire world. By his left side is Radharani, Srimati Radharani, and her personal friends. With them, Lord Govinda enjoys the Ras Leela and many other pastimes. Lord Brahma, sitting on his lotus seat in his own abode, always meditates on him and worships him with a mantra consisting of 18 syllables. Anybody remember the mantra of 18 syllables? Everyone in the 14 worlds meditates upon him, and all the denizens of Vaikuntha sing of his qualities and pastimes. The goddess of fortune is attracted by his sweetness, which Sri Rupa Goswami has described in this way. My dear friend, if you are indeed attached to your worldly friends, do not look at the smiling face of Lord Govinda as he stands on the bank of the Yamuna at Keshigat. Casting sidelong glances, he places his flute to his lips, which seem like newly blossomed twigs. His transcendental body, bending in 3 places, appears very bright in the moonlight. Without a doubt, he is directly the son of the king of Braj. Only a fool considers him a statue. For that offense, he cannot be liberated. Rather, he will fall into a terrible, hellish condition. What more should I say? Therefore, who can describe the mercy of the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda, by whom I have attained the shelter of this Lord Govinda? All the groups of Vaishnavas who live in Vrindavan are absorbed in chanting the all-auspicious name of Krishna. Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda are their life and soul. They do not know anything but devotional service to Sri Sri Radha Krishna. The dust and shade of the lotus feet of the Vaishnavas have been granted to this fallen soul by the mercy of Lord Nityananda. Lord Nityananda said, in Vrindavan, all things are possible. Here, I have explained his brief statement in detail. I have attained all this by coming to Vrindavan, and this was made possible by the mercy of Lord Nityananda. I have described my own story without reservations. The attributes of Lord Nityananda, making me like a madman, forced me to write these things. The glories of Lord Nityananda's transcendental attributes are unfathomable. Even Lord Shais, with his 10,000s of mouths, cannot find their limit. Praying at the lotus feet of Sri Rupa and Sri Raghunath, always desiring their mercy, I, Krishna Das, narrate Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, following in their footsteps.
What about the part where the Vaishnavas give him blessings for writing Chaitanya Charitamrita? Where's that? There's a painting of it in the front of the book. In the very front of the book, if you see the painting, it always tells the page. It's a picture of the Madan Mohan temple, and he's, Yeah, is there another section of pictures? And there, he went into the Madan Mohan temple, and the garland fell on his neck. The garland fell down, the pujari brought it to his neck. Everyone said Jai. And then Madan Mohan said to him, "Don't worry, I'll dictate, you just write." So really Chaitanya Charitamrita was written or spoken by Madan Mohan. And how else was it written? By the diaries of who? Swarup Damodar Goswami and Raghunath Das Goswami. And I think also Murari Gupta. There it is. Yeah. Well, I think there's one after that. Oh yeah, that's the one.
Somebody else want to read?
You're doing okay.
Should I read all the names?
We'll benefit by hearing them. Unless Kadagaraja wants to read, do you?
Sure. Is it the correct understanding that he didn't feel himself qualified to write Chaitanya Charitamrita, but because Madan Mohan requested him to Vaishnavas, then he did?
Oh, you heard about what he said about himself.
Yeah.
So you want to come here and read? And he meant it.
I know.
It's inconceivable because at the same time he knows who he is. You found the place? Okay, you want to hand it over?
You want to hear about like Chaitanya Mangal and Vrindavan Das Thakur?
Well, whatever he's writing about himself. Because that's still about how he came to write Chaitanya Charitamrita. Santi, what page is it?
Well, he's talking about the Vaishnavas.
All right, just anywhere.
Here,
Okay.
page 60, verse 61.
Pandit Haridas had great faith in Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda. Therefore, he took great satisfaction in knowing about their pastimes and qualities. He always accepted the good qualities of Vaishnavas and never found fault in them. He engaged his heart and soul only to satisfy the Vaishnavas. He always heard the reading of Sri Chaitanya Mangal, and all the other Vaishnavas used to hear it by his grace. Like the full moon, he illuminated the entire assembly of the Vaishnavas by speaking Chaitanya Mangal, and by the nectar of his qualities he increased their transcendental bliss. By his causeless mercy, he ordered me to write about the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Well, there's the answer. Govinda Ghosh, the priest engaged in the service of Lord Govinda in Vrindavan, was a disciple of Kashishwar Goshai. There was no servant more dear to the Govinda deity. Sri Yadavacharya Gosai, a constant associate of Srila Rupa Goswami, was also very enthusiastic in hearing and chanting about Lord Chaitanya's pastimes. Bhugarba Gosai, a disciple of Pandit Gosai, was always engaged in topics regarding Lord Chaitanya, knowing nothing else. Among his disciples were Chaitanya Das, who was a priest of the Govinda deity, as well as Mukundananda Chakravarti and the great devotee Krishna Das. Among the disciples of Ananta Acharya was Shivananda Chakravarti, in whose heart dwelled constantly Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda. In Vrindavan there were also many other great devotees, all of whom desired to hear the last pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. By their mercy, all these devotees ordered me to write of the last pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because of their order only, although I am shameless, I have attempted to write this Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Having received the order of the Vaishnavas, but being anxious within my heart, I went to the temple of Madan Mohan in Vrindavan to ask his permission also. When I visited the temple of Madan Mohan, the priest Gosai Das was serving the feet of the Lord, and I also prayed at the Lord's lotus feet. When I prayed to the Lord for permission, a garland from his neck immediately slipped down. As soon as this happened, the Vaishnavas standing there all loudly chanted, Hari Bol! And the priest, Gosai Das, brought me the garland and put it around my neck. I was greatly pleased to have the garland, signifying the order of the Lord, and then and there I commenced to write this book. Actually, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita is not my writing, but the dictation of Sri Madan Mohan. My writing is like the repetition of a parrot. As a wooden doll is made to dance by a magician, I write as Madan Gopal orders me to do so. I accept as my family deity Madan Mohan, whose worshippers are Raghunath Das, Sri Rupa and Sanatan Goswami. I took permission from Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur by praying at his lotus feet, and upon receiving his order, I have attempted to write this auspicious literature. Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur is the authorized writer on the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. Without his mercy, therefore, I cannot describe these pastimes. I am foolish, low-born, and insignificant, and I always desire material enjoyment. Yet, by the order of the Vaishnavas, I am greatly enthusiastic to write this transcendental literature. The lotus feet of Sri Rupa Goswami and Raghunath Das Goswami are my source and strength. Remembering their lotus feet can fulfill all of one's desires. Praying at the lotus feet of Sri Rupa and Sri Raghunath, always desiring their mercy, I, Krishna Das, narrate Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita following in their footsteps. Sri Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami Ki Jai. Hari Hari Bol. Wow, amazing.
Want to take 5 minutes just to each say something? So Davey, I see you're close.
Yeah, because his brother disrespected or didn't have respect for Lord Nityananda Prabhu, he gave up his brother, and so he got the mercy of Lord Nityananda for this reason. And I don't know if it was said now and there, but I think maybe then if not, I probably heard it from Gurudev that that he was thinking, wow, I just did such a little thing, but Lord Nityananda gave me everything. And yeah.
All right. A person who doesn't have faith in the deity is falling into hellish conditions.
I was thinking about how he's so humble and how he's saying how fallen he is and how he really, really means that, and that he's not writing the Chaitanya Charitamrita, that it's Madan Mohan that's writing it, and just like a puppeteer with a puppet, he's just taking dictation from Madan Mohan to write it. I was thinking also that I'm glad that you were having us think, because the first time around my mind was going everywhere. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to say something. So I was concentrating more. So thank you for that. That he medicated Ramdas, that part. That he had full faith in Lord Nityananda. And something else came to me, but I lost it. Oh, that he got very angry and was gonna cut off the head of, who was it? Who didn't have faith in Lord Chaitanya? What was he gonna do? Oh, here's another Roma Harshan.
We heard how Nityananda Prabhu had, like, he gave his ecstatic symptoms to his associates. And he had his red staff and, like, all the bumblebees basking around his feet.
Everyone took mine. He went to Vrindavan and he prayed to Madan Mohan. And what happened? Raghunath Bhatta paid for Radha Govinda temple. What happened to Radha Govinda?
My reflection was connected to my question, which was definitely answered. Is he felt himself so low and unqualified, but the Vaishnavas, they all wanted him to put together this Chaitanya Charitamrita, and so he asked their permission. Like he's saying, without Vrindavan Das Thakur, who's the authority of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes, he can allow me to write the later pastimes, because that was the devotees' desires. They wanted to hear the later pastimes of Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mangal. Oh, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. What? Oh, Chaitanya Bhagavat. And then once he was getting the support from all the Vaishnavas, then he went to Madan Mohan to get the clarification. And then once he went there, then he got the garland fell. Once he prayed, and then all the Vaishnavas said, Hari Bol, and I thought he said, then and there I started commencing this scripture. And so yeah, it was amazing to hear his mood and how he's just seeing that this is being manifested all by the mercy of the Vaishnavas and Madan Mohan. Hari Hari Bol.